this is the time to buckle down, get outside of your comfort zone, and learn one new thing. Not a bunch, one. We are currently not just in one recession, but rather two recessions. And what I want to do today is break down what this means for you as a real estate agent and what to do in order to capitalize on it to build massive momentum and see incredible success during these two recessions. Now, what are they? One is physical, one is mental. You've got a physical recession of what's actually happening in the economy, which is pushing most agents out of the industry. And this is because in the last couple of years, it's been like a 2-year gravy train with interest rates and the demand to the point where it was pretty easy to close a ton of deals and everybody was getting into the industry. But once that changed due to the impact of rising interest rates, you now have a mass exodus of agents from the industry. And I will get to what you need to focus on in order to capitalize on that. But simultaneously, you have a mental recession. And what's happening here is you've got agents that are staying licensed. They are maintaining their license in active standing, but they are mentally checked out of the industry. And what's happening is they're not putting time into their business. They're focusing on negative things. They're getting sucked in by the negative narrative that is saying that things are so difficult right now. And they're mentally checking out. They're not putting in any time, or at least not as much time, into the growth of their business, which means that they are mentally checking out of the game. So this is an incredible opportunity for you if you properly know and understand how to address it. And that's what I'm going to do today. So without further ado, let's dive in. What's up? My name is Mike Sherrard with eXp Realty. I train thousands of agents every year to scale their business the modern way. But I'm really excited about this because this is where I started. Back when I got started in license in 2017, my city, Calgary, Alberta, was one of the slowest markets in North America because of the crash of oil. And that's what my entire city was based around. So I was at a point where about 27% of listings were selling. Way worse than it is now, but the same thing was happening. Agents were physically and mentally checking out. If you're in any other market, this would have been the same as 0809, and we're seeing it again. You can talk to or follow any narrative shared by any elite level entrepreneur right now, and they will all tell you that right now we are in the weakest, softest society ever, and that it's creating a weak environment, which is great for people that want to be the top 1% because everybody's bowing out. You need to understand that you can be in a great market with a terrible mindset and fail. You can be in a terrible market with a great mindset and win. It has nothing to do with the market conditions, but rather everything to do with the perspective of which you're viewing them and the mindset that you're going into it with, which is why I want to help you have a different perspective and start to make massive leaps in the growth of your business. Now, because of the fact that, again, we're in this weak instant gratification society where nobody wants to be disciplined, consistent, embrace delayed gratification, you have an incredible opportunity because all you have to do in order to win is outwork the norm. And the caliber of the norm is atrocious right now. So it's really not that difficult to seize opportunities during this time. But let me break down the physical recession and what you need to be doing there. And then I'll talk about the mental recession and how to approach that. Okay, so starting with the physical recession, let me break this down. And what's happening is this is catering toward the agents that are leaving the industry. Over the last couple of years, we've had more licensed agents in all of North America than ever in existence. And now you're starting to see agents leave the industry. So if we're looking at the history, if you look at 0809, for example, not saying it's going to get that bad, but about 40% of agents physically removed their license from the industry and another 20% mentally checked out from the industry. So about 60% of the agents were wiped away, physically or mentally. And where do the clients go from the 60%? Well, to the 40% that weathered the storm. So first, talking about the physical aspect of it, this is great because there's less competition. And not only is there less competition in terms of agent count, but everybody's distracted right now. So if you follow the core principles that I'm going to break down, it's going to be actually pretty easy, easier than before, to stand out, to become the go-to agent and remain top of mind. The first thing is understanding that the magic is in the FU, or the magic is in the follow-up. Right now, because of interest rates going all over the place and they're incredibly high, people are waiting. People are waiting to see what happens. They're holding off on buying or selling. And the one that's going to win, the agents that are going to thrive, are the ones that stay in touch with them for the longest. Because we all understand that people work with the last agent that they spoke with. Not the last agent they worked with, but rather the last agent that they were in continuous conversation with most recently. And what's happening over the last couple of years is you could get a client and they want to buy or sell right now, and they were going to, and that's great. But now you're having people wanting to wait 6, 9, 12, 18 months from now. And you need to now follow up with them. You need to stay in touch with them and continue to deliver value with market reports, with insights as to what's going on in the area, and making sure that you're pouring into them month over month over month, so that when the time comes that they're ready to make a decision to buy or sell, you are the one that remains top of mind. Which leads into the next thing that's going to be incredibly important, is focusing on communication, making sure that you keep in touch with your clients, but more importantly, making sure that you have open communication with your active clients. Previously, again, it was very easy to set aside communication, because if somebody was buying or selling, if they were buying today. If they were selling, it was going to sell quickly. Well, now the properties are sitting for a little bit longer. You need to be in constant communication with your clients. You need to make sure that if they're showing, you get feedback. You need to make sure that if there's an open house, you give feedback. If there's no offers after a week, you explain what you did in terms of marketing and what you did as a proactive approach for their property. If there's a new listing that came on the market that's a comparable, or one sold, or one expired, or terminated, or whatever, went pending, you need to communicate that to your clients so that they're always kept in the loop. When I was still focused on production, the number one piece of feedback that people gave me in terms of why they stopped working with their past agent and chose me was that the past agent was bad at communication. So if you can excel at making sure that your clients never skip a beat in terms of what's going on with their property or the purchase decision, you're going to be the one they continue to work with. The next thing you need to make sure that you're doing is focusing on the basics. When things get difficult, the basics are what scale, simple scales, and the ones that are putting the boots on the ground, door knocking, or hitting the phone and cold calling, or putting out better content consistently, those are the ones that win. So you need to pick a couple lead sources. I recommend one traditional, one modern, so whether cold calling or door knocking, and then ideally YouTube, but picking two different lead sources, and don't do anything else when it comes to lead generation. Don't get distracted by new trends, new tips, new strategies. Go all in on two. And what that's going to do is make sure that you're building this pipeline of immediate business with the traditional prospecting, and then the delayed gratification of your content, which will start to bring you clients over time. But staying focused and not chasing too many rabbits. But it's going to be really important to stay focused and not try and do too many things, because right now, because everybody's fearful, it's very easy to get distracted and to look for the next shiny penny. But if you stay disciplined and you stay consistent with the right activities, you're going to build massive momentum. The last part related to the physical recession is getting outside of your comfort zone and learning something new that you haven't before. Now, that doesn't mean it has to be something modern. It just means it has to be something new. And what I mean by that is there's a couple things that I recommend you really focusing on right now. Number one, on the traditional side, making sure that you get your CRM dialed. You need to live by your CRM. That's going to help with the follow-up and the nurturing. But this is going to be so important for staying in touch with your clients and making sure that you know where they are throughout the entire customer journey. But also learning something new like video. If you haven't done it before, now is the time to get outside of your comfort zone. And if you want to know how to rank your videos number one and the exact videos to put out on both long form like YouTube and short form like TikTok, Reels, and Shorts, drop a comment below and I'll gladly give you my free training. But this is the time to buckle down, get outside of your comfort zone, and learn one new thing. Not a bunch, one thing at a time. You need to stay focused. You need to get clarity. You need to make sure you're focusing on one thing at a time, which could be your CRM. Okay, once that's dialed, then you do YouTube. Okay, once that's dialed, then you do TikTok. One thing at a time. And by stacking these new routines, these new habits, and these new strategies, you're going to see incredible growth in your business. Now, when it comes to the mental recession and making sure that you don't fall victim to this, it's really important to look at who and where are you learning from. All too many times I see people that are, posting on YouTube and they've got maybe 10,000 subscribers or something, and it looks like they know what they're talking about because they've got great content and they're doing well, but they can barely sell a house. They've barely sold homes in the past. They're telling you things based on theory, not based on practice. There's so many people out there like this, and it's really important to audit who are you learning from and what sources are you taking in information from, because there's so many gurus out there right now that are going to tell you all this stuff, but they've never done it themselves. So you need to audit which information you're consuming and the validity of where it's actually coming from. The next thing you need to look at is who are you surrounding yourself with? You are a byproduct of your environment. That's why the typical quote exists. You're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. Are you constantly surrounded by people that are whining and complaining about the current status of the market and interest rates and deals being more difficult and clients making decisions to wait? Or are you surrounding yourself with people that are excited about the opportunity, that are capitalizing on different avenues that are popping up, like expires, like visibles, like REOs, or anything like that, and people that are wanting to see you win, helping you win, and also contributing to your success? You've got 2 types of people, and you need to audit these: anchors, propellers. Anchors are going to keep you exactly where you are today and hold you back from progress. Propellers are going to propel you forward to make sure you're making progress and get you closer to achieving your goals. So every single person falls into one of those 2 categories. People that are out there drinking, partying, wasting a bunch of time, treating their schedule like a negotiable, out there complaining all the time about the market, those are anchors. Get rid of them, block them, remove them, unfollow them, delete them, whatever, get rid of them. And this is also why the Wolf Pack, in terms of my group at EXP, is so successful, because we are propellers. We are all people sharing our best strategies, wanting to help you win. And if you want to know more about partnering with us to be surrounded by people that are all going to help you win, just check the link in the description. You could book a call with me. But it is so important to be surrounded by people that are staying disciplined, that are being consistent, that are sharing a positive narrative about the opportunity and not sucking you in to the chaos and the nonsense of the tabloids and the headlines. And the last aspect of this is making sure you have immense clarity on where you are today and where you want to go. I've got an entire goal setting workshop that if you want it, just drop a comment below and say business planning workshop and I'll gladly send it to you. But it's really important to have clarity on what you need to do on a daily basis in order to start to reach your goals. And as long as you're focusing on the core income producing activities like getting clients, servicing clients, and nurturing clients, you will see incredible success. That's all that you need to fill your days with, is a few hours of income producing activities. But right now it's really easy to get distracted and be focused on busy activities, not productive activities, which is going to keep you anchored where you are today, not propelled toward your goals. So in my opinion, this is the best time to be a real estate agent. There's so much opportunity right now. If you have the right mindset, the right perspective, and the right approach, and you're staying disciplined, understanding that you never achieve your goals, you always achieve your standards, and elevating your standards to hold yourself accountable to a higher standard so that you're disciplined, you're consistent, and then you've got habits that are going to make sure that you're always on track to hitting your goals. Because this is the time where you can break out, and even if you've had a terrible couple of years, or even if this year hasn't gone as planned, with the right perspective, you can completely change the course of your trajectory and become a top producer over the next couple of years. So if you have any other questions, drop a comment below. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.